Hey, this is Johnny, and in this video, I want to share with you a realistic side hustle that can actually make you $80 to $200, if not more, without a college degree or any business experience required. I actually learned about this years ago when me and my best friend Sergio were looking for ways to make money because our 9-to-5 just were not cutting it. I even showed my 66-year-old mom this exact business model, and she now uses it to make over $30,000 a month.
At my second month, I did over $25,000 when we first started, remember?
I'm telling you this because this is not another overhyped side hustle that promises you to get rich overnight. This is something that's real and tangible in a proven industry that's worth billions of dollars and has billions of dollars flowing through it every single year. So what is this realistic side hustle that actually pays people a lot of money? It's called remote house cleaning, and you're probably thinking, what the hell is remote house cleaning? Well, don't worry, you won't be cleaning anything yourself. You actually run this business from the comfort of your own home. What actually is remote house cleaning? Remote house cleaning is just a house cleaning business, but instead of hiring W-2 employees, you hire independent contractors or 1099s who already have the training and experience and the equipment needed to go out and complete jobs for you. This saves you time and money as a business owner and the ability to not have to go out and actually clean the houses yourself, because when you hire W-2 employees, you've got to train them, you've got to buy the equipment for them, and then you got to ramp them up and you got to handhold them until they're able to do a good job. However, with 1099 contractors, you save all that time and money of having to purchase the equipment, train them up, get them ramped up and hold their hand, and you just make sure you do a good job at hiring them, and then you're able to send them out to do cleaning jobs. You just handle the sales and the marketing. You pay the cleaners anywhere between 40 to 50% of every job you book. The cleaners end up making anywhere between $25 to $35 an hour. So the value add from you as a business owner is that they would make more money working with you anyways, because a lot of these cleaners that you're going to be hiring don't know how to price, they don't know how to market. They actually, believe it or not, they just want to show up, do the job, get paid, and go home. They don't want to have to worry about the sales, the marketing, setting the expectations, the booking, all the stuff that goes into running a business. You handle that without having to lift a finger as far as the labor goes. The legal classification for this business and what it's actually called is a referral agency, and there's actual guidelines and rules behind how to run them. But overall, as an industry, cleaning will do over $40 billion in sales as an industry by the end of 2025 alone. And the coolest part about this is not one single company owns more than 1% of the market share. And this is true even at the local level, meaning you can go into any market that's got a population size of $50,000 or more, whether it's a city, a county, or an MSA, a metropolitan statistical area, and you can come in, launch one of these businesses, and make your first 10, 20, 30. We've got clients that are doing over $100,000 a month in random C-tier cities like Omaha, Nebraska. So how do you actually go and set up one of these businesses? Well, you'll need about $300 to $500. That's it. It's super low cost to start up, and you can get it set up really, really quick. Step number one is you want to file an LLC. Now, you could get started as a sole prop or a partnership or whatever it is. Just file the LLC so you can get taxed as an S Corp. It's easier from the beginning. It's eventually what you're going to want to do anyways, and it's a pain in the ass when you want to switch from a sole prop to an LLC. So just file your LLC. You can either do it through your state's website, which won't cost you any filing fees, or you can just go to a company like Prime Corporate Services or Northwest Registered Agent, which I'll include the links down below. It costs you anywhere from $100 to $200 to file your LLC, and that way you're going to get your EIN number. Your EIN number is what allows you to open up a business bank account. We're going to want to open up that business bank account so you can actually take money into the account, and this is where you're going to take money in and also pay your cleaners out and also pay any expenses, which I'm also going to lay out in the rest of this video. I'm not a big proponent of, hey, this bank is better than this one. You're just starting out, just open your bank account somewhere. Then you're going to need 3 core components. Number 1 is going to be Booking Koala. This is going to be your booking software. This is going to allow you to take payment, send out quotes, onboard your cleaners, manage your cleaner schedules, reassign cleaners to jobs, basically run your whole business inside this software, and also keep track of all your customer information. It's super important. It's $57 a month, super cheap. I'll include the link down below for that. You're also going to want a phone system because you don't want to mix your personal phone number with your business. You're gonna have business clients calling you, and if you've got a random number calling you, you're not gonna know if it's a business call or a personal call. So just get Open Phone, which is about $25 a month. This is gonna give you a business phone number that you can put on all your advertising, on your Google Business profile, on your Facebook page, on your Yelp page, LinkedIn, whatever you decide to advertise on. And when you hire a virtual assistant, you'll be able to give them access so they can actually pick up the calls for you, because we don't wanna build a business that owns you. We wanna eventually build a business that runs without you. So we're thinking with the end in mind here. And then number 3 is gonna be liability insurance. So you can go to Thimble or Next. On Thimble or Next, you're just gonna select that you have a house cleaning business, you have 0 employees, and they should give you a policy that covers you up to $1 million that will cost you anywhere between $60 to $80 a month. This is in the case that a cleaner messes up and they go ghost or something happens for whatever weird reason. You want your butt covered, so just pay the $60 to $80 a month for peace of mind, because if something does go wrong for $60 to $80 a month, you won't have to come out of pocket for it. As a side note, when you do hire the cleaners, you will send them out with insurance. This is just a second safety net to that. So you've got your business bank account open, you've got your Booking Koala set up, you've got your Open Phone set up, and you've got your insurance. You'll need to pay some other things like for G Suite, if you want a custom domain for your cleaning company, that's probably another $15 a month. But all in all, you're up and running for $300 to $500 a month, not factoring in ads just yet, but I'll get there. So you've got the business set up. What's next? Do you get the leads first? Do you get the cleaners first? I'm a big fan of just get the cleaners first, because you don't want to rush out a cleaner to a job that you haven't tested, because that's how you get a bad review. And if you get a bad review at the very beginning of your business when you don't have a bunch of 5-star reviews to back it up, well, it can really put you in a bad position. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start hiring providers. There's a bunch of different platforms you could use to hire providers on, but my personal favorite is Indeed. Indeed is good because you can just post a job on there and you have applicants flowing in to Indeed that you can then vet and then you can hire. Now, you will get a lot of applications. Your job as a business owner is understand the 80-20 rule. 80% will suck, 20% will be good. Now, knowing this, you will have to sift through some applications, but that's okay because you just need one provider to be able to get yourself to 5 or 10K a month. That is it. One cleaning provider will make you 5 to 10 grand a month. So if you talk to 10 people, 1 or 2 should be good. Just understand that. Now, when you start to actually interview these people, you're going to want to ask them for a few things. Number 1, do they have reliable transportation? You don't want to be driving around picking your cleaners up and dropping them off. Number 2, do they have at least 1 year of experience? You don't want to train them. You don't want to have, you're not the cleaning expert. If you're watching this and you're thinking about starting this business, you probably don't enjoy cleaning, or if you do, you don't want to go sit there and spend your time training people to how to clean houses. And then do they have their own cleaning supplies? You don't want to have to pay out of pocket for cleaning supplies, because in the case that they show up to a job and they don't have the right supplies, or even worse, they lose or break something that you bought, guess who's paying for it? You, the business owner, are gonna have to pay for that. You don't want to have to do that. It just adds more cost into the business, and we want these profit margins to be around 30 to 40% net. Once those 3 things are done, then I'm gonna make them an offer. And then when I make them this offer, I'm gonna do 2 things to make sure that they're actually good cleaners. Number 1, I'm gonna background check them using a company called Checker. I'll put the link in the description down below. It's $30 to check. You don't wanna be background checking every cleaner you talk to. This is only for people you make offers to, because we wanna be cost effective. Number 2, we're gonna send them out to do a test clean. So we're gonna get a friend or a family member who's got a house or an apartment or some type of dwelling space and say, I'm gonna give you a free clean. I just need you to ask 1 question. You're gonna send this cleaner to your friend's house and they're gonna think it's a real job. They're not gonna know this is a test clean. What the test clean is gonna do is gonna show you 1 of 2 things. 1, do they actually show up? Number 2, when they do show up, you're gonna have your friend or family member ask them this number 1 important question that can't be missed, is how can I book again? This is gonna tell you if they say, here's my card, I'll do it for cheaper, just book directly through me. Or number 2, they're gonna say, call Johnny's cleaning company and they'll get you rebooked. Well, that's a really green flag. Now, if they say, hey, here's my card, I'll do it for cheaper, well, obviously they're gonna try to steal your customers. You don't want that. So don't send them out to any more cleans. Hire a new cleaner. On top of it, an extra layer we're gonna add into this is we're gonna have a contract. I'm gonna include this in the link for you guys for free too. That's gonna say all the payout structures, everything, but it's gonna say that if you try to take my clients or you do take my clients, I will sue you. Now, will you ever actually sue them? No, you won't, because it's not worth your time for a $200 client. But it's usually enough between the background checks, the test clean, and the contract to prevent them from stealing customers. That's hiring providers in a nutshell. We've got the setup, we've got our cleaners on board. Now we need to get the leads. How do we go and get the leads? The lowest hanging fruit you can do is sign up for Google Local Service Ads. I'm not gonna make this a big portion of the video because the setup process is so simple. It takes you 1 to 2 weeks to get verified. You'll need 5 reviews to get approved. Just ask your friends and family for good reviews and you can bypass that. It's super simple, super easy. And they'll send you people who are already searching for house cleaning services in your area, which means they're high intent leads. You should be able to close them and convert them to customers at a 50 to 60% clip. Number 2 is gonna be join every Nextdoor and local Facebook group you possibly can. Talking buy-sell groups, mom groups, local neighborhood groups, on Facebook. You're gonna go in here and you're gonna engage with other people and you're gonna start to make a name for yourself. You're gonna join as you yourself. You're not gonna join as your cleaning business name. People buy from people and people buy from people they like. So if you can build a name and a reputation in these local groups, you'll get leads for free, and then you blend it with your paid ads, it should lower your customer acquisition costs. Not only that, but with Google Local Service Ads, you can start spending $100 to $200 a month and you should be ROI positive from the get-go because you should be closing them at a 50, 60% clip. Then when you do start to get leads from these local Facebook groups, ask them for testimonials back inside that same group. So then you trigger what I like to call the keeping up with the Joneses effect. It's like when you see Joe next door using this service provider, and you're like, well, what's going on with Joe using this service provider? I kind of need that too. You ask Joe for his number, boom, that company just got a referral. They're gonna pay you more on average and they're gonna close at higher rates. So knowing that, I'm gonna ask every customer that comes from one of these local groups for a testimonial back inside that same group, because now I get the keeping up with the Joneses but at scale, because everybody in these local groups is seeing you provide service to their neighbors. So they're naturally gonna wanna use you. You rinse and repeat this process. Eventually you'll hire a virtual assistant to run the business for you. I've got a separate video going really deep on how to actually do that. that, which I won't get into in this video. Really what I want to talk about at this point after all the setup is done, the earning potential. Cleaning is something where it's a recruiting business. If you can get really good at vetting out and hiring and staffing these cleaners, you will crush your competition. If you call 10 of your local competitors, I promise you 8 of them won't answer. So if they can't even answer their phone and you already win in this industry just by answering your phone, imagine if you got really good at staffing, because getting the leads is easy. There's buildings everywhere. They all need to be cleaned and they all get dirty over and over again, whether that be residential, commercial, short-term rentals, construction cleanups, you name it. There's a bunch of different segments out there and it's always needed. It's not going anywhere. So if you can get good at the staffing and you can scale this business really as big as you would like. I've seen companies in the space exit for 50, 60 million dollars, albeit they were franchises, but I've also seen these companies get up to 10, 20, 30 million dollars a year because they're really good at operations and really good at staffing. So the earning potential is really, really high if you want to make it a full-time thing, but the earning potential is also there if you just want to make an extra $1,000 to $2,000 a month, because some of our best clients at Home Service Academy still have their full-time jobs. I'm talking like Baron and Helen, who we have a podcast interview with on the channel. They do about $60,000 a month, yet they both have their full-time jobs. That being said, even if you want to keep your full-time job and you enjoy it, maybe you've got a retirement plan coming up and you need to stay for the next few years, but you want to hedge against, what are you going to do after? A cleaning business is a great way to do that. It's a great side hustle. It'll take you about 15 to 20 hours a week, and it really does not take that long to set up. Even if you're, let's say you're a full-time student. I started one of these businesses while I was a full-time college student. By the time I got to my senior year, I was making more money than my professors simply by having a cleaning business on the side. Or let's say you're a single mother. My mom was a single mother who started Mary and Amok. 66 years old, knows not a lick about technology, does $30,000 a month with half of that being profit and take-home income. So when you do this business right, when you run it right, you'll have really high margins and you'll have a sustainable business that you can actually go and sell later on. So even if you're somewhere where like, hey, I want to build something and eventually sell it or get an exit under my belt, you can do that too, because it's a proven business in a real industry that's been around for decades and decades and decades, that has predictable revenue where there's a recurring component. So if you run the business for 2-3 years, you'll have really predictable cash flow that you can then take to a buyer and say, hey, look, over the last 3 years, I've cash flowed 300 grand a year. Well, now you can get 2 to 3x that if you ever wanted to exit for a big lump sum of cash. Now, what about the cons of this business? The cons are exactly what I explained earlier. It is the staffing component. It is boring, it is grueling. You're dealing with low-level labor, people who are gonna call out sometimes, people who maybe hit or miss, people who are gonna work with you for 6 months and be like, I need more money, I need more money. And so that's why it's important to always be hiring. We have a saying at our company, it's always be closing, always be selling, always be recruiting. So if you do both, you will be fine, but I will say up front that this is a recruiting business. You will be doing interviews, you will be hiring cleaners, and eventually this is something you can pass off to someone else on your team, like a virtual assistant overseas. But at the beginning, you will spend a large part of your time vetting cleaners, hiring cleaners, and onboarding cleaners. That's just what it is. But if you do it right, you could be like Skylar, who bought a house just with the profits of his cleaning business and crossed $1.1 million in sales from his cleaning business while still having a 9-to-5, or like Baron and Helen, who I mentioned earlier, and I'm pretty sure one of them will be quitting their job soon, I'll have to see. Or like Steven and Crystal, who came to us almost nothing to their name and now have a business that cash flows $20,000 a month. Not revenue, but they make $20,000 a month. Completely changed the game for them. They couldn't even believe that you could start a cleaning business without doing the cleaning themselves. I also have the testimonial from both Skylar and Steven and Crystal. I'll include that in the description down below so you can check those out. And if you're someone who got to the end of this and you're like, hey, I think I can do it on my own, awesome, try it. Check out our other videos, see if it makes sense. We have a bunch of free content on our channel about how to actually build this. But if you're someone who wants more of their handheld and wants more of a business in a box where we'll actually have our team work with you one-on-one, not just give you some videos, like we'll literally build this business for you alongside you, and you're someone who maybe hasn't built a business in the past and you want to try it out, check out the link down below where you can actually book a free call with our team. It's completely free. You can show up, you can ask your questions. If it's something that makes sense, awesome. If it doesn't, no hard feelings. My feelings won't be hurt. Still check out all the other content we put out for free. And if you like this video, you got value out of this video, hit the like button, hit subscribe, turn notification bells on, and we'll see you in the next one.